We wanted to be here to share with the Israeli people our commitment to Israel, our commitment to the government. As the peace talks continue on, we want to show that we stand shoulder to shoulder. And as we look at other challenges that we have in the region, we want the people of Israel to know how much we care and how much we're committed to our future together.
Iran is the largest state sponsor of terrorism in the world, so this is a threat to the world itself. So on the issue of preventing Iran from nuclear weapons capability, I think we are very, very aligned. Our president has said that he will not take the option of force off the table if that is necessary. But right now, our hope is that there can be a transparent, verifiable agreement that stops Iran's nuclear program. And in my view, that agreement has to ensure that Iran can no longer enrich uranium.
How do you respond to the feelings sometimes in Israel? We've even heard it from leaders of the state that at the end of the day, Israel will stand alone when it's coming to deal with Iran if it comes to the military option.
Well, I think that's not likely. I think that the American people, the American government stand together with Israel. And Israel obviously has the right to act alone anytime they want to. It's a sovereign government. But we have a commitment and a binding care for one another that we have traveled together time after time after time and expect to do so in the future as well.
Do you think that we'll see a situation where America will, give Israel bunker busters, things that will help Israel?
Well, in my view, I serve on the Senate Armed Services Committee. If we get to that position, which none of us hope we have to be, that we would have to use force to stop Iran's nuclear program, I believe that the United States should support Israel if that becomes necessary to do so. That said, I think we need to keep strong sanctions on Iran as that is clearly having an impact on their economy. That's why they've agreed to come to the negotiations table, and still keep pressure to try to get a successful negotiation. But that negotiation has to result in a real agreement that dismantles their program.
It seems that the world is a bit charmed by the smiles of the new leader.
I don't think the world should be charmed by the smiles of the new leader. We've seen Iran's playbook in the past where they have said one thing and done another. So I think we're all very skeptical, and that's why we need a transparent, verifiable agreement.
Now, in terms of the Palestinian negotiations, what have you learned maybe that you didn't know, or what is the understanding that you're coming out of this visit?
Well, I continue to be hopeful. Solving this problem is so beneficial to all parties that what I am hopeful for is that we can look at one another and try to get past some things, and in the process make life better for everyone.
How do you see one of the issues that is becoming more big of a controversy, the release of terrorists, when we're hearing statements from the Palestinian side that it's for that reason they need to stay in the negotiations? We saw the meeting with President Obama. What are your feelings regarding that, the terrorist release?
Well, first of all, I think the Prime Minister made a very brave and difficult decision in the first instance to release prisoners, showing the Israeli commitment to the peace process and the negotiation process. And now we have to see if the Palestinians are in turn going to act with seriousness toward the process. And what that means is they can't continue to threaten going to the United Nations or using the International Criminal Court to seek action against Israel, that they have to be committed to the negotiation process. And so I think that this issue of the prisoner release is really tied up with that issue, to see what the Palestinians are willing to do to show that they're serious about these negotiations.
How about the feelings sometimes in Israel that America is pressuring Israel to make more concessions?
Israel is a sovereign government, and we can't tell Israel to do anything. Our goal is to try to come together, make life better for the Palestinian people, for the people of Israel as well, and try to be an honest broker. And that's our job, is to try to bring people together, hope that our credibility extends to both sides. And so our goal is just to find a solution.
You know, Israel has been saying for some time already that there's no partner on the Palestinian side. Do you feel that America is coming to some sort of understanding like that?
I don't. I think that certainly Secretary Kerry is working very, very hard. Both sides have told us this during this visit on these negotiations. And at this point, it's really up to the parties to decide, but in particular, as I just said, the Palestinians have to show that they have a commitment and the capability, if an agreement is reached, of implementing it. So I think at this point we are waiting to see what they will do.
You hear many people in Israel, when they see a U.S. Senator, right away one of the first things they say is Jonathan Pollard.
Well, I understand that, and I support our government's position on that issue.
The source of the relationship between the United States and Israel is the love between the people of Israel and the people of the United States. We have often had leaders who had differences at that level, whether it was, Prime Minister Sharon, or President Carter, or Clinton. There have always been policy differences, and but that underlying relationship maintains that friendship beyond the issue of the day. And so I think that will sustain us. That will keep the bond strong, not only through the administrations of the Prime Minister Netanyahu and President Obama, but beyond that, generations beyond that.
I would very much like to mention as well, we had the opportunity this morning to meet with President Shimon Peres, and I introduced a resolution along with Senator Bennett, who represents Colorado, that would award President Peres the Congressional Gold Medal, and this is a great honor that a resolution passed unanimously in the United States Senate last week, and so I wanted to just say that this is something that recognizes not only the statesmanship of President Peres and the importance that he has had to the United States-Israeli relationship, but also I think reinforces the relationship between our two countries that we would seek to award President Peres with this important distinction.